First of all, I ask you to a big round of applause for Alan, because Alan joined us in the 6:30 sunrise run, so he's the best. He's my hero of today. Thank you, Alan.
I wouldn't call that a
Anything to say after the run?
Feeling pretty good. I wouldn't call that a run. I'd call it moving my arms real fast.
That was funny.
Just walking.
A lot of fun. So, we're gonna start with a very quickly self-introduction. So I kindly ask all of you to introduce yourself in 30 seconds. Please, Jeanette.
I'm Jeanette Pressman, and I'm a governor with Miami Realtors. I've been in real estate for almost 12 years with Desert Platinum Realty, which is the developer of this building, the Porsche Sign Tower. We're building Bentley Towers now. And I also volunteer for Pancreatic Cancer Action Network.
Thank you so much. Alan.
My name's Alan Lane. I'm a hospitality developer and fund manager. I work directly with Commonwealth Hotels. We do new builds as well as repositioning value-add opportunities. I was 26 years in the securities business, specializing in alternative investments. Started out as my dad was a steel erector, so I started out as an iron worker. So I actually climbed columns to pay for college. And so now we finally get to go full cycle. So I'm a guy that can have the blueprints under my hand and run a hedge fund at the same time too. So I operate a crane if we need to. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James.
Hello, James Corman, member of the Corman family office. It's a member of the 4th generation, my son's 5th generation. We are in the real estate business, all the different types of real estate. I'm expert in the multifamily sector and did most of my deals over the years with institutions like Carlyle, Davis Companies, State Street, Hunt Oil, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But during COVID, switched directions and do all of my deals now with family offices and high net worth. It's a much more, it's a lot more fun for sure. I've made many more friends than I have than 20 years in working with Wall Street. So I'm glad to be here. I'm living in Miami now because my partners and investors, they want Texas and they want Florida. So here I am. I moved here 3 years ago and I like it a lot. So I'm not going anywhere for a while.
Sounds cool. Adi?
We're glad to have you here. So I'm not the only multi-generational on the panel. I'm 5th generation in real estate. Let's see. We have a data center fund that just closed $250 million, and we have a critical infrastructure fund that's $500 million. And I'm working as of this morning, head of capital formation for a $13 billion oil and gas deal, which is awesome because I always thought I'd stay in real estate, but here we are.
Thank you. Mark.
Hey, hello everybody. My name is Mark Flor. I lead together with my wife our family office Mingenta. We are based out of Uruguay, Switzerland, and Dubai, and have our roots in residential and commercial real estate in Germany, where I come from, although I left 20 years ago already. We do a lot of boring stuff like land banking and residential developments in underserved regions, and we build healthcare infrastructure globally.
Thank you so much. Pedro, we already know you. Tell us something we don't even know. Something special.
Well, I just want to say that the reason why everybody knows me is, as Carmelo, I've been attending since the 7th edition. So I'm very grateful for Anthony for putting together all this crowd. Let's put our hands together for Anthony. We haven't done this today. So for everyone that is joining for the first time or very recently, just remember that we are all in a trustworthy environment, but definitely coming back with the same story is what makes this different. So this is how we gain the trust, is by doing the work. We go out there, we continue the work, and we come back and we connect to the visionaries that are also doing the work. So I'm available for everyone that needs us, and especially our business in real estate is co-investment. So let's put our hands together and make an impact in the world.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Ellen?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ellen Buckley. I'm the founder and CEO of Prospera Real Estate Collective. We're based here in Miami, Florida, and we execute real estate development projects focused in the Southeast, delivering the highest value to people, place, and partners. It's really that trifecta of things that's important to our work. I'm also the managing partner and chief development officer for the Ceres Chad Hills project in the Ceres communities. And I'll be telling you a lot more about that exciting project on this panel. And thanks for having this today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellen. So, since we are in Miami, or better, we are in Sunny Isles Beach, as we discovered yesterday, thanks to the mayor. So, as we are in the Miami environment, I would love to start with Jeanette. So, Jeanette, how is the real estate market you are committed to performing in this moment, in the current situation?
Miami continues to outperform the nation. We're doing really, really well. The month of inventory has lowered to 6 months for single-family houses, and for the condos for 13 months. So there's still a buyer advantage on the condo market. And even in the single-family homes, buyers could take now a little bit longer, negotiate some credit, but it's still very strong. We just finished the first quarter, and there was appreciation on single-family houses of 0.6% and the condos 1.7%. And the ultra-luxury market, properties that are 10 million and above, are doing extremely well. We sold 50 properties 10 million and up last year, which is about one a week. And that's only from MLS data. Because there's also for sale by owner, there's new construction, so there was potentially many more.
Thank you, Jeanette. So, Alan, I understand that the real estate market is in a good shape. What about the hospitality in U.S.? What's the moment?
Well, in certain areas, what we specialize is don't usually need one.
Yeah.
What we normally specialize is the extended stay market, select service. We don't do a lot of the larger hotels, 1 to 300. And what we found since COVID, during COVID, extended stay model hotels were 72% occupied, believe it or not, across the board, up to 86%, 86.2%. So we've stuck with that model since COVID for a few years. We like the select service. And now what we're doing in Florida, especially Florida, Texas, Arizona, the high growth areas, we're doing a lot of dual branding now. So we have projects here in Florida. We're looking for the right preferred equity partner. But as far as the market's concerned, interest rates are obviously coming down. If debt liquidity's there, debt's getting easier to get. I actually heard the word stretch the other day for the first time. That's the last time you heard stretch in a while. So things are getting better. Attitude's getting better. It's not quite as much Goldilocks. We're backed up. Internal rates of return projections are higher. And the biggest thing is existing hotels right now, $97 billion is on extension right now. And that's a third of all the debt that's due this year. And with that debt being on extension, a lot of the lenders don't want to do anything with the loans because these hotels, the 4 brands we work with, they have major property improvements that are due. So if you just got out of COVID, you're making money right now, you're in good shape, well, wait a minute. We got a mandated property improvement of $4 million, and we've on extension, and we took our note out a couple points lower. So we don't have a choice. We're a profitable hotel, we're upside down, and we have to sell. So that's the cycle that we're in on the existing hotels here.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. James, very interesting question from my side because, of course, this is one of the most resilient, sector in all the assets. So the real estate, but also the hospitality, and we have seen more disruption in the last 5 years than in all the history. And so, if you, as a professional of this sector, had to identify one traditional rule of the real estate investment that is now completely dead or obsolete, what's your call?
I'm a contrarian, so I like to buy low and sell high. So right now, I really like the market of South Beach. Everybody's kicking it. They say it's trashy and it's not safe. And that's the climate that I like to buy properties in. There's only one South Beach. I like that market better than Wynwood. I like that market better than Brickell. I like that better than the downtown. It's, to me, that's just, I scratch my head as to why more people haven't jumped in there. I was under contract to buy almost a full city block, and I ended up walking away from the deal, not going hard on the money because the expectation of the seller was a little bit outrageous. So, but that's still a market that I'm very high on. So, like I say, when everybody's kicking it, that's the time I want to go after it.
Thank you. Adi, you are fifth generation, so a very opposite question for you. So the human-centric, importance. So we talk about smart planning in terms of tech and data, but as we look at the hospitality and residential trends, which is one human need that technology is currently failing to address, and how are you planning for that in your next project? So why is still so important, the human factor in
Water.
water?
So I mean, I had to speak at a few events in London a couple weeks ago, and people came up to corner me and they said, for those of you who don't know, like fifth generation real estate, they kind of expect you to just tell everyone in real estate what to do. And it's like, that's not exactly how it works, but I appreciate that you think I'm like that influential. So they cornered me and they said, Adi, what are you doing to fix our access to power and water with the data center boom right now? And I was like, oh, that's a lot of pressure. That's not necessarily hospitality or residential. It's how are data centers impacting hospitality and residential. The reason we launched this critical infrastructure fund was I was cornered the next day. I met with my godfather and he said, what do you think of the event? And it was like, well, they asked this question, what solutions do you have? Because he's a retired decorated Air Force officer who he was known for being able to be dropped into any country and he could figure out how to get water out of anything within a matter of minutes. It's amazing. He's like, like an absolute genius. He'd like look around, he's like, oh, humidity. There's enough humidity in the air, we can do it this way. Or, oh, we have to drill here or desalinize. So the thing that we're focused on right now, and I mean, it's only a 500 million fund. It's like pennies compared to my godfathers who are playing at the billions level, but we're focused on getting water back into communities where they're about to be at like day zero with running out of water, which is something that I think is crazy. Like as a child, I never thought we'd face a time where we have technology and these data centers, the technology boom, depriving people of water and tripling the energy bills for people in different counties. So that's what we're hyper focused on right now. Because we've been in real estate for 122 years, we kind of know how to get a decent spot the winners and get a decent return, whichever assets we're going to move into with those specific market conditions. So we also look at how can we bring the greatest amount of good, because my grandfather used to say that an empty castle is worthless. So unless you're taking care of the people in the castle to keep them there and keep them cared for, safe, hydrated, with energy, like it's a worthless town to have and to invest in. So that's what we're focused on as a human need right now.
Thank you so much. So, Mark, Adi introduced an important theme of the wellness also in the healthcare related to the hospitality and the real estate. And so my question for you is, where do you see the intersection between healthcare, hospitality, wellness, and the real estate evolving in the next, we can say, decade?
Yeah, thank you. I'm personally since 35 years in real estate, and I've always been interested in developments that were unusual, mixing different asset classes. We've in the past, for example, integrated residential into factory settings, or have combined teaching and residential in unusual ways in Germany, especially in the early 2000s, late 1990s. And I've always been wondering why that doesn't work with healthcare and real estate. And I've been following this a lot and seen that these are two segments that need very specialized developments and operators. And often hotel chains try in the past to do healthcare as well, or vice versa, and that didn't work. And I think for the future developments, combining these kind of segments, it's very important to have specialized teams in their own segments working together. It's one of the reasons why I was fascinated with Kyle's project that you just mentioned before in Roatan, because it's a huge project, I think $1.7 billion in total, combining tourism, wellness, longevity, hospitality, sports, bringing together a lot of professional players in their own segment working together under one umbrella. And I think for large-scale developments in the future, you will need to work with interdisciplinary teams that work hand in hand, and this will break a little bit the developer approach we see right now in many parts of the world, where one developer tries to do everything out of one hand and in the end then eventually fails. We've seen many great projects failing. The other aspect is that since a couple of years, medical tourism is something that is totally on the rise. We've seen regions like Sub-Saharan Africa, where we're very active with our hospitals, having a stark incline of average wealth. People are seeking for better living conditions, better health care, and since the infrastructural developments in their countries takes very long, they start to travel. And there are many projects underway at the moment who try to solve this issue, and we are trying to be part of this. I think this is something that will dominate this mixed asset class markets in the next 15 to 20 years.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. I don't want to open a competition between Miami, between other countries, but I got to ask Pedro, why Portugal and why now in this moment? Because the more and more, family offices are looking at Portugal, for multi-family, properties. And so, what's the added value in this moment of Portugal, and why it's a safe harbor right now?
Well, thank you, Carmelo. Basically, I think that the beauty of Lisbon right now, especially, it's attracting a lot of global wealth. But importantly, what we are doing is repurposing. As Mark was saying, we are repurposing a fish factory that was there, and we are rebuilding just to keep the history, obviously the facade, but doing the wellness and just a tiny bit. But the thing, how do we protect the investors that we work with is actually only onboarding investors when we have everything ready. So capital is deployed when a bank is willing to put 70% of the capital. That's how we protect the capital. And about castles, my mother and I, we just bought the family property that my godmother lived there for more than 100 years in the castle, but taking care of that. So I think that the repurpose is what we can actually bring to the table. And the properties that we are looking in the cities is just as a business card for families to visit and understand what we're doing. But outside, I totally agree with Adi, and that the fact that all our properties have plenty of water because we are looking for the next 100 years. People in longevity talk that we are living 150 years. So for each and every one of you, I invite you to believe, to just think about this. We don't need to pass from our property, like I live in a 3-storage family home, to a senior care facility. That's why we're building longevity living. Downsizing to service apartments, we have all the service included, but we are not seniors. We have plenty of life ahead, just more services. Being healthy, physiotherapy, healthcare, all of that. Bring that to your lives and you will enjoy it. The hyperbarics and everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely to see a proud mom, on the audience filming the sound. So, hello, mommy. Hi. Ellen, you are quietly executing over 16 billion in real estate development, am I right? And so, for investors in this room trying to separate, operators from those who talk and the other one who execute. So, what does that body of work look like, and what has it taught you that you can't learn any other way?
Thank you. Yeah, so $16 billion of real estate executed today. It's not usually what I lead with, but it's the result. It's really the result of decades of work on the ground, in the trenches, executing. Real estate's in my DNA. I started learning about real estate through deeds, transferring them at the local courthouse from my grandfather when I was a very, very young, around 14 years old. Then I started working construction when I was 17. Only woman in the entire construction company, actually learning how to put up buildings, float the concrete, finish the office spaces, learning how to do the work. So putting myself in these adverse situations to learn and to do better and to always innovate. I collected a few degrees along the way and have been executing real estate development projects up and down the Northeastern Corridor in Southeast Asia and in Miami in the Southeast for some time. For example, the Wellesley Harbor Islands project, for those athletes in the space, Tom Brady signed a lease in the office component of that project and delivered immediate value, showing that his investment in that place was important validation to that wellness component of the project. So my body of work really spans from mixed-use communities to hospitality to all kinds of luxury condos, residential, and now bridges into the neuroscience of living, working with neuroscientists to really inform how we live in our communities to improve that living environment, and now culinary-centric living, and really excited to share more about that. I'm joined by my business partner, Dominique Love, who seeded this idea of food being at the center of living and a living environment, and we're developing the first culinary-centric community in the United States.
Thank you so much. We will come back to this topic, to this new project. We have the last 60-second round for each one. So the last question for each one, 60 seconds. So Jeanette, you were talking about an increasing demand in the ultra luxury, properties. What has created this demand from your point of view?
Yeah, well, we've had, since 2019 to 2023, we've had $137 billion of income to the state of Florida, and that has come about higher tax states. We could see it by the driver's license. So number one is from New York, is coming here, New Jersey, California, and Texas. And we have people like CEO Ken Griffin of Citadel, where he transferred his offices over here to Miami. He's always also trying to get other CEOs to come here. So yeah, that's why they're all here.
Thank you. So Alan, I know you are very concerned, you are very focused on the hospitality, and so what makes the hospitality so different, instead of the other real estate,
It's the evolution right now, especially in Southwest Florida and South Florida.
What was the mic?
It's the evolution. You still hear me? It's the evolution. In South Florida, all over Florida, population's increasing. We are living longer. So what we're doing now is, when I mentioned the extended stay space, we're also looking at combining that on a few campuses with some assisted living facilities, so that we would have extended stay, senior housing, assisted living all on one campus. So that's a concept that we're bringing. So there is evolution. And like I said, the markets are getting better now. There's more appealing. It's not so Goldilocks out there. Going back to the water and things that we do on our end, we are very conscious. Matter of fact, I got commercial PACE lending back to Charlotte County, Florida. I don't know if anybody uses CPACE, but it is great if the lender will take it. And now we're getting lenders to understand that they have to take the first, but the CPACE still makes perfect sense because it's a tax. So we utilize, and then when you do use CPACE, when you build something, you have to build it to the specs. I myself, I live near Babcock Ranch, 100% solar, the entire place. My daughter, I was watching a softball game yesterday, my daughter was playing for Babcock. When Ian hit, Ian destroyed Fort Myers. I mean, the street lights, everything was down, and the Publix was open for business. So, technology.
Thank you, Alan. Because we are only 2 minutes, I gotta cut off myself. So
yeah, I could talk for too long.
My last question for James, but also for Adi, is we gotta find a balance between liquidity, and legacy. So in your strategy, are you looking at the next quarter of the year or at the next quarter of the century?
Definitely quarter of the century. I'm not a trader, I'm an investor. And it's a big distinction between those two things. And I want to partner with people who are also investors and not traders. I have a long-term outlook on this, which is one of the reasons I went away from institutions and towards family offices, because we're just much more aligned. Really quick, Anthony, great job. This is the best conference that I've been to. So thank you. And the whole team, you guys did an amazing job. Second thing I want to say that I'm involved with a foster charity that there's 450,000 foster kids in America. And so I've just worked with Kevin McGovern on a great charity. So if anybody has any interest or any information, please contact me.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Adi?
I'll say we're also quarter of a century. If I could say 100 years, that's what we're focused on. Currently, right now, we're actually on the deployment side. We are actively deploying a few billion into distressed assets. So if you have a distressed asset group or syndicate, reach out to me, please.
Mark?
So I would say the greatest asset we have received through our family's work is time. And like this, we can be very relaxed, look at a quarter of a century or longer, no pressure.
Thank you so much. Pedro, the biggest lesson you have learned from your mom? This one was unexpected, I know. Biggest lesson in all the time?
Is to always admire and support family. So I always felt supported, and you elevate me, Mother. Thank you so much. And I want to just let this message to all of you that when you take care of yourself, longevity is my business. When you take care of yourselves, you also take care of the ones around you. So your happiness is everyone's happiness. Mind that.
Thank you, Pedro. Ellen, we have 60 seconds. You can decide if talking about the culinary project or chairs. It's up to you.
So talking about taking care of yourself, I want to tell you about our series project. Who enjoys a wonderful meal? Who likes food?
All of us.
What time is it?
Series is all about food as the center, the governing principle of life. Food nourishes us, it nourishes our bodies, our minds, it nourishes the people that we spend time with, it brings people together, and again, it's the founding principle of Ceres. Ceres is the first culinary-centric residential community in the United States. We're located 30 minutes right outside southwest of Atlanta, at the Atlanta airport. The project is 94 acres, residential, mixed use, and hospitality based. And really we're putting residential living and, we're just turning up the model on its head. And we have 10% of home sales already in agreement with the escrow in place. We're starting construction. And imagine a place where a cookery school replaces a clubhouse, and edible landscapes surround a living environment, and it's a really exciting project. Am I out of time?
Yeah.
I can keep going.
We are always out of time. So that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Alan, James, Sadi, Mark, Pedro, and Ellen. I hope you enjoy the conversation. And please, if you have any question, something to ask to our incredible panelists, get in touch with them soon after. Thank you so much.